Hi. We'll wait for more people to join us. So, Alexis is now in. We'll wait for a little.
Hi!
Hi! I can't see you, Alexis. Okay.
Really? Wait, hold on. Hello!
Hi.
Okay, wait, let me just quickly...
Sure. No problem.
Hi, everyone! How are you?
I'm doing fine. How are
Yeah?
you?
I'm good. Staying at home, obviously. Hi, everyone! There are more people joining now.
Yep. So before we start the session, maybe you want to do like a brief introduction of yourself?
Yeah. For those who don't know me, my name is Alexis SueAnne, and I am the reigning Miss World Malaysia 2019. And I am also the founder of the little project I created, which is called Chance for Change. Yeah, so that's what we're going to be talking about today.
Yeah, so if you have any question, you can leave it down in the comment and we'll get Alexis to answer them. So, what have you been up to recently during the MCO?
Oh, actually, I've been pretty... I don't know, I've been pretty active ever since MCO started. I think it's because a lot of people... we have nothing to do at home, basically. So I think this is the best time for us to really be productive and really do something about it and do things that maybe we most of the time don't have time to do, you know, like for instance, I know this is pretty embarrassing for me to say, but I've been doing a lot of TikToks.
Yeah, I saw that.
So yeah, I've been doing a lot of TikToks because I think it's quite fun and you know, like it keeps you going. It doesn't make you bored, you know. It's quite funny and I just like to stay productive, you know, within this time, especially we're a time where, you know, social media influencers or like key opinion leaders are able to influence the world to do more than just sit at home and do nothing, you know.
Yeah. I see you've been working out quite a bit, right?
Yeah. Every day almost.
Maybe you want to share with us a little about your workout routine at home.
So I don't have a specific workout routine that I constantly do every single day. So it's not the same routine, but I really like doing, well, as of these past few weeks, I've been doing a lot of like stretches, a lot of yoga in the morning. And then I do a lot of like hit circuit kind of trainings in the evening. So I think the best thing, a lot of people ask me questions on how to slim down your waist or how to create like a smaller waist, right? So that's the question. Those are the questions I've been getting a lot these past few weeks. So I think the best way I would say that I've been doing, the best workouts would be like Russian twists where you do like ab crunches, like you do this and then you do this to the side. It kind of burns you a little bit, but that's basically what I've been doing. Not overly to the top things like running and stuff like that because obviously you can't go out, but yeah, I've been doing a little bit more of like a relaxing yoga kind of thing lah.
Yeah. So for people who just joined us, we'll be talking a little about Alexis' journey as a Miss World Malaysia and also maybe her project Chance for Change.
Yeah.
So if you have any question, you can leave it in the comment. Yeah.
Sorry.
So I'm actually very interested with your experience in pageantry.
Oh.
I learned that this is not your first time in Miss World, right?
It's my first time in Miss World, but it's my second time in pageantry. So the first time I did pageants was in 2018, and that was when I first did Miss Universe Malaysia. That was my first one, and then I was very young. I was about 21, 22 when I started, right? So I knew nothing about pageantry. I just came in because suddenly I wanted to do it. I think it's a great platform. So I did that. I got first runner up for that. And then I told myself, I vowed to myself, I never want to do pageantry again. I don't know whether it's for me or not. But Miss World has always spoken to me because I grew up watching Miss World. I'm pretty sure a lot of people grew up watching Miss World as well.
Yep, true.
Because you know, it's the oldest pageant in the world. It's the very first pageant. So for me, the motto, the idea behind Miss World, beauty with a purpose, has always stood out to me and has always kind of related to my life and related to what I've always wanted to do. So I told myself, you know what, if this doesn't work out again and if I don't win, that's okay, you know, as long as number one, I've done it, you know, I've done whatever I've always wanted to do, and number two, I can get my message across to other people, because I have been doing charity work, and like I have been working with charity foundations since I was 13. So this was a very good way for me to preach the message or get the message out there. And then so I joined Miss World Malaysia, and then I won, which is amazing. It was an amazing experience, and then I got to represent our country at Miss World in London last year. Yeah.
Yeah, we know that you were actually listed as the top 10 in Beauty with a Purpose, right? How would you actually define beauty with a purpose?
Well, beauty with a purpose is, like I said just now, our main motto at Miss World, and we really emphasize on giving back to our community and shedding light to the people that really seek them more than we do. I think that's how I would define beauty with a purpose. Well, beauty with a purpose is it's not just focus on one thing, because not we have 120 countries last year, and not one of us had the same project. So it's really about bringing the world together as one, you know, the world in union, bringing together all the girls and sharing the issues that we have in our own countries, and you know, just trying to find a way to help people out there, or help our country at least. So that is what beauty with a purpose is.
I think you mentioned you started doing charities at the age of 13, right? Yeah, so how do you actually, like, how can we encourage kids to do charity work?
You know, I think everything stems from education, or like educating people, you know, educating parents on how to bring up their children in a way where they will be able to be appreciative with what they have, be appreciative with their environment, but also at the same time see what other people, see what lives other people out there in your own country are living, you know. And that's how I was brought up by my mom. You know, we didn't have a life. I didn't have a life where I would just sit at home and be spoon-fed for everything, you know. My mom wanted me to go out there and tell, you know, like share my story, but also listen to other people's stories. And I think that's the best part, you know, because when you go out there as an adult, yes, you know, you have a little bit more empathy, but you know, sometimes it might be a bit too late to change your perceptions, you know. I mean, it's never too late, but it's harder to change an adult, right? So you want to start at a very, very young age, and that's what my mom did for me. My mom brought me to, I think my first charity home that my mom brought me to was an old folks home foundation called Little Sisters of the Poor, an old folks home. And I didn't do any, obviously I didn't go out there and like do heavy stuff, but it was more than enough for me to just go there with my mom and a couple of her friends and just play the guitar for the little uncles and aunties there, you know, things like that, because I was starting out with guitar back then. And you know, it's little things like these that makes them happy, you know. They don't ask for much, they don't ask for money, they don't ask for anything, they just ask for company. So that's when I started to see, wow, you know, there's so much happening around the world. You know, some of these old people, or some of these orphans, they don't have anyone to confine to, you know. And it's just so unfortunate, because everyone deserves to live in a house full of love. Everyone deserves to have someone as companionship and stuff like that, you know. So yeah, that's how I started, and that's how I think parents should educate their children. It's at a very young age, you need to go out there and you need to let them see what's out there, you know, not confine them in a home, not bringing them in a place where they're so confined to the point where they're always spoon-fed. Yeah.
Yeah. So, Chance for Change, tell us briefly about the project. What's it about? What's the aim of it?
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, so Orphan Care Foundation is actually watching now. Hi guys. So that's the foundation I work with for Chance for Change. And to sum it all up in a nutshell very quickly, Chance for Change is actually a project that I initiated to raise awareness on baby dumping and baby abandoning. And I work with Orphan Care Foundation in doing that through two ways. The first one being awareness, where we have gone out to different schools and they have gone out to different schools to preach about things like topics like abstinence or, you know, how to say no. Very, very simple things for us, but it would make a difference to all these kids, because sometimes, you know, you as a 13-year-old, you don't know how to say no if your best friend puts an arm on you and he's an opposite sex or whatever. Even if it's the same sex, you sometimes don't feel comfortable touching your hand or whatever, and you don't know how to say no, because sometimes you think, you know, it's just the hand line, you know, it's not like my thigh, or it's not my chest, you know, I'm sure it won't be different, you know. So
Yeah.
a lot of kids don't understand how to say no, or how to seek for help if you're in a household that is abusive, a household that has all these like funny business going on, sexual harassments going on. So Orphan Care Foundation has been working so extremely hard to preach this message out to different schools, you know, schools in rural areas, especially all these kids. And the second phase that we go to is sustainability, where we have this jewelry line that is obviously called Chance for Change. And these women, these mothers, teen mothers mostly, from this little home that I also work with, it's called Rumah Kita. And that's where they house abandoned babies and like babies who have been baby dumped in public areas, which is very sad. And a few mothers or teen mothers who have been outcasted by their own families, or, you know, have nowhere to run, or have been raped and stuff like that, and they don't know where to go. So Rumah Kita does that. They house all these mothers and babies. So I work with the mothers there to create this jewelry line. And what they do is every week, well, not now, but before MCO, every week they will have this auntie come, and they would learn how to do all these bracelets and jewelries and accessories, so that we can sell it out and we can give some sort of a profit to them. So majority, like I would say 60% of the money will go to the mothers, and the remaining will go to Rumah Kita itself, you know, to sustain their like electricity bills and stuff like that. So those are the things that we wanna focus on: awareness and sustainability for now. Yeah.
You know.
Sorry, babe, you're breaking up. Hold
Oh,
on.
okay.
I don't know if it's okay. Sorry, pardon?
Oh yeah, I was asking like what inspired you to actually start this project?
So I visited Rumah Kita in 2017 or 2018. That was a few years ago, because one of my mom's friend was volunteering there. So she asked me to come along and said, you know, like if you want to play with some babies and stuff like that, I'll help out. You can. So I was like, yeah, why not? Why not? So I went there, and I literally had this thought that it was an orphan home, because there were so many babies there. But then after a while, I was like, wait a minute, if this is an orphan home, why are there only babies and not kids above 2 years old? You know? So for me, it was a little bit weird, you know. I was like, I don't know if this is an orphan home or not. And then I asked my mom's friend, and I said, you know, what is this place actually? Because I know that they house all these babies, but why only babies? And she said that these were babies who have been dumped in public areas or abandoned by their own mom ever since birth. And it's so sad because I was like, wait, how I didn't know the severity of this issue, you know? So I asked more about it, and they were like, you know, this particular baby has been dumped in like a little trash can, you know, and it's so sad to hear that this is happening in a country that is so it's in a cosmopolitan state, especially, you know, like KL. It's so sad. So, you know, different babies from different parts of the world, parts of KL and parts of Malaysia and stuff like that. And what I noticed is that 60% of these babies don't have any birth certs with them and stuff like that because their parents abandoned them. So it's very hard for them to get adopted as well, which is why Orphan Care Foundation comes in very, very quickly and gets all these babies to try to get them adopted after that. It's a long process, but they have been doing it for so long, and they've been doing such an amazing job at that. And yeah, I think the main message to put it out there is that, you know, all these things are happening. Yes, you know, you can't stop it. There's no way to eliminate it completely, but there's always way to bring awareness to other people about this issue, because a lot of people think that there's only that issue is only like a minor part of our society, but actually we have, I think I preached about this in Miss World. We are the second, or the top, the highest amount of baby dumping cases in the world, Malaysia. You know, and
Wow.
how many countries do we have? You know, it's very sad to hear this, but that's why we started this whole thing, to spread an awareness and spread the message on the severity of this issue.
Are there any like challenges of you while running the Chance of Change?
I think, yeah, so monetary wise, it's quite difficult, I would say, because there are so many foundations out there, and there are so many different people who needs help, and that's completely understandable, you know. So I would say that bringing funds in is an issue, but that was last year. But this year we actually planned a whole lot more to do, and the plan was to reach out to bigger brands and work with them on how we can bring this out there, how we can bring Chance for Change as a brand a little bit further. But because of MCO and stuff like that, we had to kind of, you know, push back on a lot of things. And that was quite upsetting for us, because we were looking forward to this thing where we actually created like a charity fashion show with iCartini, the designer. So we were selling all these tables for profits for Orphan Care Foundation, to give to Orphan Care Foundation. But unfortunately, with the whole MCO also, we can't really do anything about it. So for now, everything is on hold. But there are definitely big plans for Chance for Change if and when this whole thing is over. Yeah.
Yeah. So you were talking about like Chance for Change is providing stable income for the mothers and rumah kita, right? So right now it's the MCO thing. So how are the mothers coping in
the home?
Yeah.
I think so far we spoke to them once, and I think they seem to be doing fine. A lot of like Orphan Care Foundation, they have been working so hard to provide a lot more food for rural areas, people who live in rural areas. And if you can see their Instagram, they have been doing amazing with that. So they have been helping out. As for Rumah Kita, I would say that they are in an okay situation right now, because, you know, we always constantly have people like giving food and paying their electricity bill and stuff like that. So all the necessities, I would say, is provided for as for now. Obviously, we would want and we would love if more people could donate a little bit more money or food or anything they can possibly. But I think if you're talking about as for now, I think they're okay. They're doing quite good.
Yeah, is there anything the public can, do for the mothers in both Rumah Kita and also Orphan Care?
Mm-hmm. So you can always donate. Obviously, donation is one of the best ways, because I'm telling you this because I know the people at Orphan Care Foundation is completely 100% so dedicated to what they do. And I'm very proud to say that I'm working with such a great organization and a great foundation. So I would hope that people, even if it's just 5 ringgit or 10 ringgit or 1 ringgit, any sum or any amount will do great for the foundation, because they are able to take this sum and provide food, provide the necessary things for all these little like babies that Rumah Kita, for example, are housing. And yeah, it would do great, if we are taking food for granted every day. I always tell my friends this. We're always constantly saying, "Hi, you know what? Like, I'm eating this again. Why am I eating leftovers?" And it's sometimes for us a little bit like, I don't know, sickening for us, I would say. But when you go out there and when you hear about stories of like a family of, let's say, 8 eating the same kari ikan kuah for like a week or 2 weeks straight without anything else, I mean, that's just it's just not, number one, not good for your health, that you're eating leftovers from 2 weeks ago. Number two, a lot of people are running out of jobs. Recession is going to come. The economy is not that great. So we have to do something about this. I mean, we are still able to live comfortably in a house, a roof over our head, but not a lot of people do. So if anyone could please donate to Orphan Care Foundation, I promise you they would do amazing job with the money that you donate. So yeah.
Yeah. I know you're always about spreading the awareness, for child abandonment and also baby dumping. So do you think there is perhaps more we can do to stop this and eventually just stop it completely?
Like I said, I don't think as for now there is a particular way that we can fully eliminate the issue. I don't think that there is I mean, as much as we want to have, I don't think there's a particular way we can eliminate it once and for all as for now. I think it's a very slow process, but as long as it's steady, I think more people would come to know about this. You can read more about it on Orphan Care Foundation's website. That's a very big one that you can go to. You can also, it's very good to educate your own children about this issue as well, because number one, they would learn how to appreciate their own life. Number two, they would understand more about abstinence and stuff like that. And I know that it's a topic that not a lot of parents would want to talk to their kids about. For example, using protection and etc. I don't think it's a topic that, because Asians are very not close-minded, but we're very, very conserved, so sometimes we might not be able to, as parents, be able to talk openly to kids about all these issues, because
I guess it's still a taboo kind of thing, right?
It is such a taboo topic to be talked about. Even in schools, not a lot of people, like, let's say if you go to a government school right now and you talk to a 13-year-old girl about protection, she'll be like, oh, no, don't talk to me about that, or if you talk to a boy about it, they will either make fun of it or they will either brush it off, so the main idea here is awareness, and the main idea here is education. You know, we must educate the younger generations to really fully understand the severity of it, the consequences that you might get yourself into if you don't follow all these necessary steps, you know, in protecting yourself. Yeah.
I see, I see. So we all know that running a project like this is not easy. Plus, you have your work and tight schedule to juggle between. So, what actually motivates you to keep doing what you are doing right now?
um I guess there is no need for anyone to push you when you want to do something, you know. There, for me, I've always been passionate about it, which is why I keep going. And um you know, I know that a lot of people out there have been quite reluctant to go out, not because they don't want to help, but it's because, you know, sometimes you'll never know what could possibly happen to you if you go out there, let's say to feed the homeless and stuff like that, you know. And I don't blame anyone, but there are so many ways to help people, and the way to stay motivated is to keep telling yourself, okay, like, why am I doing this? What would it benefit for my society, you know? And sometimes it's a circle, it comes back to you, you know, and it's the society that you live in. And obviously, if you care about your country, you want to do something to help people about it. So I guess that's what keeps me motivated, you know, the outcome of it. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think especially right now, right? Because it's during the MCO, we are all dealing with a certain level of stress, and it's not easy to deal with.
Yeah.
Can you share with us how do you normally handle all this stress or maybe emotional breakdown if you have any?
I would say that, like, first of all, I would tell everybody that it's okay sometimes not to feel okay. I always tell people that there is no one in the world that would be 100%, 110% perfectly fine throughout their life. You know, there will be ups and downs. So it's okay not to feel okay as long as you get back up. Personally, what I have been doing these past few months is whenever I feel down, I kind of do a lot more self-reflection. So I like to do a lot of self-reflection with myself now. And it's because you know, back a few years ago, I had like a not serious, but I would say a mild anxiety. I would say I had mild anxiety. So for me, I will always lash out on myself, and I would get into this dark hole that would kind of make me believe that I cannot get back out of, you know. So obviously having the right people to surround you with is a very, very good idea. You know, the right group of friends, the friends that you mix with is very, very important. But also, if you are going through a situation, talk to someone about it. Don't just keep it in your heart. Talk to someone, talk to a friend, talk to a parent, talk to anyone you trust, or you know, go go for therapy. You know, therapy is such a taboo thing to be talked about, but you know, it's not. It's perfectly normal. It's perfectly fine for you to go and talk to someone about it. How to stay motivated during this MCO, I would say, is to do a lot of self-reflection and a lot of meditation. Meditation is great. You know, go on YouTube, do like a morning meditation in the morning for, like, I don't know, less than 10 minutes, and that's it. You know, it doesn't take up a lot of your time, but it will help. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So, you actually mentioned like education is the thing for overcoming this kind of thing.
Yeah.
So, I've seen you doing a lot of this like talks and also workshop thing at schools. So, any plan of doing it more in the
Yes.
future?
Yeah, of course. I mean, if Orphan Care Foundation is still watching now, they can comment about it. They would definitely do more. They have been doing a lot more. Even when I was at Miss World, when I was still competing in London, they were going out to different schools and still doing what they do. So it's been amazing. And hopefully, after this whole MCO thing is done, hopefully we would be able to quickly go out there and talk to people or talk to students about it again. Yeah, hopefully. I don't know. If anyone would want to comment which schools we should visit, that'll be great.
Yeah, true. So, okay, so I think before we kind of wrap things out, I have one question for you.
Okay.
So I think many would want to ask this question. So what is the advice to those who actually want to be a pageant or a model? What's any tips for them?
Well, first of all, I always, when people ask me how to get into modeling or how to get into pageantry, it's completely different. So it's a very, very different genre altogether, you know. Modeling, I would say you have to, as cliche as it sounds, go for castings. Go for as many castings as you can, because you know there's so many people doing castings and stuff like that, and sometimes you get demotivated a lot because you don't get the role. But the whole trick is to get a portfolio up, get some hit shots taken, go for as many castings as you can, and one day you will get there. For pageantry, I would say pick a pageant that you are pick a pageant that speaks to you. I would say, you know, different pageants speaks to different people in different ways. You know, for example, Miss Universe is about women empowerment. They focus on women empowerment, and they focus on physical aspects like catwalks. You know, that's how they judge the girls. And then Miss World is very, very different because we focus on mainly our beauty with a purpose, and we have a lot of different segments that you need to hit, like sports, talent, communication, and stuff like that. So how to get into the pageant is find a pageant that speaks to you the most. Number two, you need to be able to understand, because every pageant would have their main motto, right? So you have to understand that, and then you have to do a lot more research on the pageant itself. So yeah, I guess that's how you get into pageantry, and then you just audition, and that's how you get in.
Yeah. Okay, there's this one question that asks where exactly Rumah Kita is at.
Oh, it's in Ampang. I'm not too sure what the address is. Let me just see. It's in Ampang. I'm pretty sure you can find it online. Let me just quickly, sorry Lorraine, let me just quickly go online and check it out for you. Okay, hold on, yeah. Because it's a home that houses these women that are not able to go out themselves, because it's supposed to be a transit home for all these women. I'm not, yeah, it's quite difficult to find the particular address, if you know what I mean.
I see.
Yeah, so I'm trying to find it for you. Okay, so you can actually go onto their Facebook. It's called Rumah Kita NGO. I'm just gonna type it down. Oh, Pandan Jaya, yeah. NGO Rumah Kita. So this is what they are called on Facebook. So you can actually go there and just message them if you wanna pay them a visit anytime this MCO thing is over. And the address is Ampang, Pandan Jaya. Yep, that's the one.
Oh, it's Pandan Jaya. Yep.
Mhm.
They said. Yeah, I guess that's all for today. Thanks a lot, Alexis, for being with us, and also thanks everyone who tuned in today.
Thank you so much for having me. Yep.
No worries. It was a good time spent with you. So I guess that's it.
Yes, that's it. Sorry, I'm just gonna answer one. SMK Bukit Mewah. SMK Bukit Mewah. Okay, I'll write that down, guys. I think all Care Foundation would write that down to see whether they would put that in their books. Yeah. Thank you guys so much. Thank you, Lorraine.
Bye.
Thank you so much for having me.
No worries. Bye.
Bye. Thank you.